Hey, my Pilates people, welcome to my channel, Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. Today I have for you a quick full body reformer session. No props are needed, and we're gonna be staying on one light spring the entire time. So that one light spring is not your lightest, it's your one up from. So for my balanced body people, that is a one blue spring. Your foot bar can be anywhere, doesn't matter. And your headrest, let's put it all the way up. You might need it just in case. So we're gonna start off with some standing work, then come kneeling, and then we're gonna finish lying down. So a lot of upright work today, a lot of balance challenge work, some rotation, extension, all the spinal movements. So you should feel worked and hopefully longer and more open by the end of this session. So we're gonna be starting in your well. Be careful coming in here, and you're facing your foot bar. So I'm backed up a little bit here, maybe about a straight arm distance away from my headrest. And then I'm gonna reach down and place the heel of my hand onto my shoulder blocks here. So I'm gonna keep the carriage in. I'm just gonna round my spine, drop my head. All 10 toes are facing forward. And then I'm gonna start to roll out and find a little baby extension. My booty sticks out, my chest reaches forward, my collarbones open. And then on your exhale, we kind of roll ourselves up and find your rounded back. So just a little cat-cow to start. Maybe even find a little push down into the hands. Exhale, round, we drop the tailbone. Now let's add on. So find that arch back, let the knees bend where it feels natural. And now let's round our spine. I'm gonna keep pushing into my hands and start to shift my hips forward. Shift my hips forward, keep the heels down, and now I'm gonna look forward. So I'm more in kind of like a plank position with my spine, trying to keep my heels heavy. It's a lovely stretch in the back of my ankles. From here, I'm gonna nod my chin, roll yourself back, sit your hips back, find more of a flat back here. So now I'm kind of like hanging back a little bit without pulling the carriage in too much. And then I'm gonna kind of undulate, roll back out. Feel now that my heart is reaching forward, my chest is open. Now as we drop the chin, let the heels lift. And we kind of roll out, hips sit back, heels push down. Find that strong flat back. One more time, kind of roll yourself out, chest pushes forward. Maybe even the chest lifts up, find a baby extension, and then nod your chin, lift the heels, roll yourself back out. Okay, so now I want you to find a good bend to your knees here. My hands are still on the foot bar, or not on my foot bar, but the headrest here. Shoulder blocks, oh my goodness. And then all I want you to do is just straighten your legs. Feel like you're sticking your booty back, but also up. And now bend your knees. And then we straighten the legs. So for my tight people, this should be like really stretchy in the back of the legs. So when we bend our knees, I'm really thinking of sticking my booty out, and I'm gonna try to hold the shape of my spine as I straighten the legs, right? There's where I really wanna round, and then I bend the knees. A couple more times here. Anybody else got creaky knees? My left one is extra cranky. Let's do 2. And the last one. Now go ahead and bend your knees and hold here. So I'm just gonna hold this squat position. I'm gonna feel the lift up through my belly to support my back. And now I'm gonna row the carriage in and hold here. I'm gonna think of elbows reaching down and back. I'm still lifted up through the base of the ribs, and then let the arms go back out. I pull my elbows in, it's a nice row, and then arms come forward. So as you're doing this row, you might have to feel that you have to like lean back a little bit or sit back. Totally fine. But I do want you to feel equal weight into all corners of your feet, even with that sitting back position. Sides of the neck stay nice and long, and we stay connected to our armpits here. Now, reach the arms out in front of you and hold. Can you lengthen your fingertips so we're not gripping onto the blocks anymore? Find a push down into the blocks, now pull it in, and then resist back out. So you have to stay pushing down on the blocks, otherwise the carriage will obviously slide out. Now, pull the carriage into you and hold right here. Hold, maybe you squat down a little bit more. Now, little pulses of those elbows pulling in, in. Try to keep those fingertips long for 4, 3, 2, 1. Resist the carriage going all the way back forward. Let's go ahead and stand up, drop your head, round your spine for just a moment. Switch your grip to where your palms are facing in towards one another. Wrap your fingertips around. Go back to that booty hover, that squat position. And now we row this way. Arms come forward. I want you to feel like you're kind of pulling the blocks apart. So your upper back goes really wide as you row in. Think elbows reaching wide across the room. And stay lifted up through the upper abs. If you've got a tight low back, it might feel like you're rounding. I'd much rather you round a little bit than find a strong extension here. How about those legs? Are we feeling them? Now, pull the carriage in and hold right here. Maybe you sink a little bit deeper into your squat. Can you give me little pulses here? Little pulses. Remember to pull apart on those blocks. Trying to rip them off the carriage for 3 and 2 and 1. Let the arms go straight. We straighten the legs. Let the head drop. And now shift your hips forward. Resist the heels from lifting. Find a baby extension. Push the chest up. And now nod your chin. We kind of roll ourselves back. Sit the hips back. Let the chest fall down. Let's do that one more time. We roll ourselves up. Let the heels lift this time. Chest pushes forward and up. It's like we're on the front of a ship. Nod your chin. Push through the arms. Roll yourself. Sit the hips back. Okay, let's come up to standing. And now, depending on your carriage, some of you might be able to take your right heel or your foot in front of the shoulder block here. Mine feels really high. I'm more at like the back of my ankle or my calf. Not a fan of it. I'm gonna take my heel and wedge it into the headrest crease. Neither is wrong. It's whatever's more comfortable for you. Okay, so I'm gonna try to find this hip socket distance apart here with my feet. All 10 toes are pointing forward. Do whatever you'd like with your hands to start, but I want you to feel that your ribs are softening into your back and your tailbone is heavy. I want you to push down through that foot and now pull the carriage in, obviously without knocking that left knee. And then slide the carriage back out. You wanna make things harder, you start further away from your foot bar. And you're trying to keep the whole foot down, but there's definitely more intention or more push down through the heel here than anything. And I think I'm gonna inch back a little bit. So you make this range as big as you want. Just try not to relax at any point. Meaning if the carriage is coming closed, right, try not to just let yourself, relax. Let's do 2. Standing leg working hard too. Last one, pull the carriage under you and hold here. Maybe there's a soft bend to your standing knee. That's fine. Can you interlace the webbing of your fingers? Take your hands behind your head. So I want you to feel this broad upper back rather than wide elbows, and feel your head lift up and push back into your hands. Now, can you round your upper body down a little bit to look down towards the floor of the carriage? And now we let the carriage go out and then we pull it back under you. So it should feel like your tailbone is really reaching down towards the floor and you're lifting up through the upper abs in opposition. Let's do 2 more here. Last one, now pull the carriage in, hold it there. Can you stack your spine up tall? Maybe find a baby extension so my chest is looking up to the sky. And now the carriage goes out and then we pull it in. I want you to feel like that right hip is drawing down towards that left inner thigh. I tell you what, my standing leg is doing a ton of work right now. Keep lifting your heart up, up, up. Last one, pull the carriage in and hold here. Now we come back to more of that flat back. Let the carriage go out. And now as you pull the carriage in, I want you to lift and twist to the right. And then back to center, carriage goes out again. Pull the carriage in, we lift and twist to the right, get taller, 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 and then back to center. That standing leg is on fire right now. Pull the carriage in, lift and twist, and then back to center. Keep your head to hand connection. Now we're gonna switch it up. Pull the carriage in and hold here. Not only are we gonna twist, but I'm gonna round up and over. Think of bringing your left armpit to your right knee. Try to keep that carriage still. And then stack your spine up tall. Come back to center. Can we keep the carriage quiet? We twist to the right. We go up and over. Ribs pull back. Armpit comes forward. And then stack your spine up tall. Last one. We twist. We go up and over. Ribs pull back. Ribs pull back. And then stack your spine up tall. Find center. Slowly release the carriage back out. Wow. That was fun. Take the leg down. Shake it out. We have a whole nother side to do. Was that just me or was that all standing leg? Goodness gracious. Okay. Place your left heel on or left foot on. Wherever you're picking. All 10 toes are pointing forward here. Not only is your left hip kind of drawing down to that opposite inner thigh, but think of it going back, right? Left hip back, right hip forward a little bit. Wherever you want your hands to be for the first bit here, we're gonna pull the carriage in and then slowly release it back out. And you're trying to find this upright position. So I'm not leaning forward. It might even feel like you're leaning back a little bit for some of you. Just play around with that position. This left kneecap is facing forward, so I'm trying to keep this kind of perfect hip socket distance alignment. And I just noticed on this side, I wanted to grip with my toes more as opposed to digging into my heel. So take note of those things. Couple more. You're still standing up tall. Now we pull the carriage in and hold here. Interlace the webbing of your fingers, hands behind your head. Head pushes back. Elbows are wide, but a little bit forward. Now I want you to round up and over. We're looking down. Again, think left hip spiraling back, right hip spiraling forward. The carriage glides forward. And then we pull it under. Carriage glides forward. Pull it under, lift up, up, up. Couple more here. Again, standing leg is strong. Now pull the carriage under you and hold here. Let's stack your spine up tall. We find that baby extension. Chest is looking up. You are looking up. Again, think of those wide elbows. And now carriage glides out and pull it in. Again, think of that right hip going forward, left hip spiraling back. And you're trying to go full range here. 2 more. Last one, you pull the carriage in, hold here. Find more of that flat back. Keep your head to hand connection. We twist to the left. We lift, lift, lift. As we come back to center, we release the carriage. We pull it in. We lift and twist to the left. Think ribs softening into your back. And then come back to center. Carriage comes forward. Again, pull it in. Hug your inner thighs together. Might feel like they're rolling in towards one another. And back to center. Oh, that twist feels good. One more time like that. Pull it in. We lift, twist, upper back broad, and back to center. Now, we're gonna pull the carriage in and hold it here. Ooh, really push down through that left foot. And now we twist, we go up and over. Crisscross action here. Pull those ribs back and off the thigh. Get deeper in your twist as you stack up tall. Find center. 2 more here. Lift and twist to the left. Up and over. Up and over. Keep that carriage still. Stack back up. Find center. Ooh, now I'm really feeling things. Lift and twist to the left. Up and over. Up and over. Drop that tailbone down, down, down. Stack your spine up tall. Come back to center. Release the carriage back out. Arms come down. Feet come down. Take your hands back to the shoulder blocks here. And then just do kind of like a little shimmy shake here with the hips. Just kind of stretching things out, maybe adding in a little cat-cow here. Okay, so before we come kneeling, we're gonna do a little inner thigh, hip opener type work here. I'm gonna call it the Captain Morgan. So I'm gonna place my left foot up onto the carriage. My toes are just right at my shoulder blocks. I'm having a hard time remembering that one today. So there's a little bit of a turnout to my right leg, and I'm not up against the carriage because I gotta watch out for this knee. Again, do whatever you like with the hands, but I'm gonna feel that my tailbone is heavy, and I'm finding a big turnout with that left leg. I'm already getting a nice inner thigh stretch. I'm gonna shift my weight into that left leg, left foot, and now glide the carriage out a little bit. Just test the waters. And then think of inner thighs hugging together to pull you back in. So I notice my knee touched a little bit. I'm gonna back away. So I'm kind of at an angle here. I'm gonna lean over to the left, and then think of both inner thighs hugging together to bring the carriage in. As I lean over to the left, I want you to think of your upper body turning to the right, just a hair, and see if that makes a difference, and then pull the carriage back in. Again, carriage slides out. I'm trying to keep the left knee over the center of that foot, and then pull the carriage back in. Anybody feeling things out there? Let's do that again. We glide out. And then again, think inner thighs hug together to lift you back up. You wanna up the ante, arms can go out, hands can go behind your head. We glide out, and now we're gonna stay out there. Maybe you drop the tailbone down, maybe we get a little bit taller. And now you're gonna try to straighten that left leg out and then pull it under you. Press it out and pull it under you. And because we're angled here, right, we're trying to offset that by turning your upper body slightly to the right. And when I do that, I feel a deeper inner thigh stretch, and I also feel my hips kick on a lot more. For 2, relax the neck. Last one here. Pull the carriage under, and then we come back to that start position. Awesome. Let's take that heavy leg down. We'll finish the other side after we do some stuff here on the carriage. So I want you to come kneeling now, kind of in the center-ish of your carriage with as much of your shins on the carriage as you can. I'm gonna reach down, I'm gonna grab my long loop that's closest to you with my right hand. Okie dokie. So knees and shins hip socket distance apart. I'm gonna bring my hands together. I'm gonna clasp them together. I'm gonna lower them down to where they're like right in front of my pelvis here. My arms are gonna stay straight. My body is going to stay square. I'm gonna raise my arms up. The carriage will move a little bit, and then lower the arms back down. So my hands stay in line with my center line the entire time. And the more you think about opening up the front of your hip creases, that drop of the tailbone. So it's not quite a tuck, it's just more of a lengthening in the back and a lift in the front. And again, trying to stay square. Now we're gonna bring the arms down. I want you to sit the hips back. So my hands are gonna come down kind of in front of my knees. And then as I drive my hips forward, my arms are gonna lift back up, trying to stay square. I'm gonna hinge back at the hips, booty sits back, spine stays long and flat, hips drive forward, arms raise up. Hinge back, heart reaches forward, neck stays long as the arms come back up. Ooh, I can feel myself twisting here. So tough. Couple more here. Think about that right hip coming a little bit more forward on this last one. Awesome work. Now let's take our left hand kind of by the webbing or close to the hardware. Feel free to readjust. My right hand, I'm just gonna keep it on my hip here. So I'm gonna start with my left palm facing in. It's gonna stay facing in. I'm gonna row the elbow out to the side and then slowly cross the body. Let the strap pull the arm to maybe you get a little stretch in the side of that shoulder, and then we row it out to the side. So again, I'm trying to stay square. I'm imagining there's a ball between my knees, so there's a little hug in. Remember, the shins are pressing down. And I'm really thinking of the back of the shoulder and my back doing that row of the elbow out to the side. Let's do 3. Collarbone nice and open. 2. And last one. Arm comes across. Okay, now let's take the strap and hook it around kind of my bicep elbow crease there. I'm gonna bring my arms all the way together. I'm gonna try to keep my elbows together here. All right, so I'm now gonna hinge my hips back again. My forearms stay in line with my center body, and I'm gonna lift right back up. Squeeze your elbows together. Hinge back. Hips drive forward, squeeze the elbows together because that strap is really trying to pull my right arm away. Thinking of kind of squeezing my chest muscles here. Let's do 2. And last one, hold here. Your hips are going to stay square. You're gonna rotate your upper body to the right a little bit. Keep the elbows squeezing together, and now rotate to the left, to the left, to the left. Inhale as we twist to the right. Exhale, really push the right elbow into the left elbow. Ooh, I'm really feeling things now. You got it. Squeeze your elbows together. There's a really important piece of mail between your elbows. Don't drop it. Exhale, twist, 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 twist. You got it. Let's do 3. Really think of creating space between your chest and your elbows. 2. Holy cannoli. Last one. Come back to center. Go ahead and lower the arms down. That was tiny but mighty. Okay, hang up your strap for just a second here. We're gonna come seated, really close to the edge of the mat here. So my feet are gonna start on the floor. So let's take your right hand back into that your long loop. I'm gonna take my left hand onto the frame here. I've got lots of room-ish to roll back. So let's go ahead and do that. I want you to roll yourself back to where you feel like, okay, my legs feel a little bit lighter. I feel like I'm more in my stomach. And now, could you bring one leg up in a tabletop? Bring the other leg up to meet it. Just find your bent knee teaser and hold here. Think of your low belly pulling away from your thighs and the crown of the head being up on the ceiling. So even though we're rounded, we're not caving. Now, do whatever you'd like with the left hand, behind the leg, on the carriage. Right arm is gonna come up, all right? We're gonna do a little hug with that right arm. So I'm gonna hug the arm in and then open it back out. I want you to stay in spring tension when you do this. For all my rock stars out there, if you wanna straighten the legs while you do this, you can. Ooh, I'm a little extra shaky leg today. I don't know if that one's for me. But even here, think of creating as much space between your fingertips and your chest as you can. Of course, trying to stay square. Let's do 2. And 1, now hold here. You're gonna keep tension in that right strap. Maybe position that left hand onto the mat kind of behind you. And now, can we start to rotate? Rotate your knees towards the foot bar. Pause here, because I'm on the side of my hip. Maybe my legs could straighten out. And then I'm gonna initiate from the hips, come back to center, bend or straighten your legs, whichever one you wanna do. Let's do that again. I'm gonna roll onto my hip. All right, arms just stays active. I'm gonna straighten my legs out because I can. And then I'm gonna bend my knees, come back to center. If you can do this with straight legs, go for it. I'm gonna rotate. Maybe you don't need your left hand anymore. I do. And back to center. One more here. Are we feeling stomach like crazy right now? Stretch the legs out, bend the knees, come back to center, and then lower everything down. Wow, okay. That was tough. That was good though. All right, so let's do the other side. Before we come kneeling, we gotta do that sliding Captain Morgan thing. So right foot is on, thinking of my right toes squaring off to the back of my reformer. My left leg is straight. I've got a little turnout with my left leg. That's what makes me happy. You do you. So let's go ahead and slide the carriage out. Find where you need to go, and then lift up through here. All right, we glide out. And I'm thinking of really pushing down through that right foot to pull the carriage back in. And then here, I'm thinking of my right hip kind of spiraling down to that left inner thigh. My upper body just slightly turning to the left without bringing my knee with me. Again, do whatever you'd like with the arms. Think roof of mouth over ribs over hips. Ooh, these hips are shaking. And then drag it under you. If you'd like, hands can come behind the head. I think I already said that, but I'm taking that option now. And then drag it back in. Now I want you to press the carriage out and hold it here. Really try to open up the front of the hips as best you can. And now we slide the carriage out and then pull it under you to deepen that hip opening. So as I pull the carriage in, I'm thinking of this right knee going back, back, back. Yep, that did it right there. But as that knee goes back, I'm thinking of my upper body twisting just a hair to the left, just a hair. Ooh, yeah. And there I just felt my right hip, those granny panty lines kick on a little bit more. Oh, that feels so good though. I don't know about you, but I'm getting a really good stretch, but also an activation at the same time. So let's do one more here, because why not? Carriage goes out, pull the carriage under you, and then glide yourself back up. Okay, let's do it. Kneeling, facing the other way. Somewhere centered in your carriage, knees hip socket distance apart. I'm gonna bring my hands together. Okie dokie. So my arms are gonna be straight. I'm gonna start with my arms or my hands low. Again, my tailbone is heavy. I'm really trying to, again, open up through the front of my hips. My arms are gonna raise up, keeping my body square, and then lower the arms back down. And on this side, it might feel like you have to bring your left hip more forward, right hip back just a hair. Because I can tell you, like for me, I really want to twist to the left. And of course, you're keeping the sides of your neck long. And then think of this reach kind of coming from your mid back. So I'm pushing my fists away as they lift up. One more here. Now I'm gonna lower my arms down. I'm gonna sit my hips back. My hands are gonna come down just in between my thighs or in front of my knees. And as I drive my hips forward, my arms are gonna raise back up. Sit the hips back, keep the lift up through the belly, and then arms reach forward. Really try to squeeze your hands together. Oh, I am like twisting all over on this side. This side's way tougher for me. Keep going, keep going. Think of that left hip going forward, 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 forward. Two more. Squeeze the heel of your hand together. Last one. Okay, take my right hand now onto the webbing, close to the hardware. All right, do whatever you like with that left hand. I'm gonna let the arm cross my body and then elbow rows out to find that strong chest opening. I cross the body, let the spring pull me, and then row the elbow out. Shins are still pushing down, inner thighs are at the party. Body stays square, torso stays stable. Think of that elbow reaching wide and then back. And for me, I feel this, like I feel much more connected on this side. My other side, it was like, almost like I didn't know what I was doing. There's always one side. Let's do 3. And 2, chest stays nice and open. And the last one here. Arm comes across, awesome work. Okay, now the long loop comes around that bicep or that elbow crease. Bring your hands and your elbows together. Now, pinch your elbows together like you've got something very important between them there. From here, body stays square. I'm gonna hinge my hips back. I'm gonna squeeze my elbows together as my hips come forward and up. Again, hinge back. Hips drive forward, squeeze your chest muscles together. And even here, we're trying to create as much space in this triangle, in this space between elbows and chest. Oh, keep trying to press that left elbow into your right elbow. Belly stays lifted. Last one here. We come up, we hold, hips stay square. We rotate to the left a little bit. And then we twist to the right, push the elbows away, and back through center over to the left. Elbows stay together. Back through center. Ooh, I'm definitely feeling things on this side. As you twist to the right, think of your right hip going forward and back to center. Hang in there. Push the elbows together, back to center. Ho-ho. Think of spiraling up, getting taller in your twist. Check your neck, check your shoulders. 2. Hang in there, y'all. Last one, my left pec is on fire right now. Back to center. Go ahead and lower the arms all the way down. All right, so now we're gonna come seated at the edge of your carriage. I'll be facing away from you, so my shoulder blocks are to my left. Left hand is into that long loop. I'm gonna roll myself back. I'm gonna find that comfortable-ish place. Bring one leg up in the tabletop, bring the other leg up to meet it. Pause here and see if you can just deepen the rounding and the flex through the spine. Right hand is wherever you feel comfortable, left arm is up. We do that hug here. And then arm goes back out. So we're trying to keep our legs square, our torso square. And feel like this reach, once again, is coming from your mid-back. Again, legs can be bent or straight here. Think of creating as much space between thighs and belly. Okay, now I'm gonna hold strong in that left arm. Do whatever you like with your right hand. I'm now gonna rotate. Keep pulling back through the ribs. I'm gonna come to my kind of side teaser here. Straighten the legs out, bend the knees in. We rotate back to center. I'm gonna rotate over. My right arm is supporting me. Send the legs out, knees bend in, and then back to center. Hang in there, y'all. Rotate, we twist. Send the legs out, knees bend in, and then back to center. Do we have one more? Yes, we do. We rotate, keep those knees together. Legs go out, knees bend. We come back to center. Awesome. And then slowly, carefully lower everything down. Holy cannoli. All right, just a little bit of stretching and then y'all are done. So I want you to place on 2 medium springs. So we have a total of 2 mediums and a light for my balanced body people. That is 2 reds and a blue spring. I'm gonna swivel around and face my risers, the back of my carriage. Make sure that your headrest is down. And then I'm gonna bring the soles of my feet together. My knees are gonna come wide. I'm gonna grab onto my feet and I'm gonna kind of press them together. And I'm gonna sit up tall, really thinking of knees going wide and down. And then keeping that, can you now pull yourself forward, either in a flat back or rounded, whichever one you can manage. And then even push your feet down into the carriage to feel that kind of opposition up through the belly, maybe get a deeper stretch in the back, and then stack your spine up tall. So let's do that again. Feet push together, but also down. We stretch forward. And then we stack back up. All right, now take your feet onto the headrest. I want you to scoot pretty close to the shoulder blocks, so there's as much space behind you as you possibly can manage. I want you to choke up and grab on close to your buckles here. Adjust if you need. So my legs, I'm not really forcing them together. They're just gonna stay bent with my feet down. From here, I'm gonna stack my spine up tall. My arms are gonna stay straight. And now I'm gonna start to roll myself back, round back, really exaggerate the rounding here. Stretch back. And then let your head go back into the well. Maybe you push your elbows down into the carriage to stretch and arch the back. And then on your exhale, you nod your chin, ribs and back come into the mat. Lift the weight of your head up. Let the straps pull you and help you. Round up and over and stretch forward. Now let your knees go wide and then just pull yourself forward into a deeper stretch. And now start to bring the legs back to that start position. Arms go straight, roll yourself back. Get the stretch where you need. Allow the ribs to flare, kind of like a big, beautiful good morning stretch. And then exhale, nod the chin. Heavy springs, just pull you up and over. And then just stretch forward. Maybe rock back and forth. And y'all, you are done. This was awesome. This was quick, but I would say effective. So as always, let me know what you thought, what you felt, any struggles, wins, all the things in the comments, and let's chat about it. I appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you again. Thanks, y'all.